Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode. Now there's a really slight time lag, so say hello if you're there, or hashtag replay if you're watching this on the replay. And just while everybody comes in, I'm going to get the questions up, and I hope you've had a lovely day today. Anyone done anything nice? Have we all been back to work? Tell you what, it was not Blue Monday in the squad today. It was brilliant. We started off with stronger, and we've gone back to an old release, so we're really like pushing the old release. It was good. Those squat presses with the plate, my heart was like pounding out my chest, but it was so good. And the second class we did was 5,000 steps in 30 minutes, aka utter madness. It was crazy, but we're doing a step challenge to Athens at the moment, and it was brilliant. Everyone was loving it. Such a good vibe, and such a good vibe in all the WhatsApp groups as well for the challenge teams. Really great. Loved every second. Now, I'm doing this live on the Lorna Marie Fitness page and in my fabulous squaddy group today because we are starting our 6-week reset, April reset, a week today. So if you're looking to improve your health, improve your fitness, and go into summer feeling in a better place than where you are right now, you want to come and join us. As in, like, do you want to hit the reset button? Do you feel like you know what you need to be doing, but for some reason you're just not putting it into play at the moment? And if you feel like that's you, look, we're only human. We all go off track from time to time, and it's all about just, okay, rearing it back in. If you feel like you're on a downward spiral, it's about stopping it in motion right now, bringing it back in, getting back on the wagon, back on track, and having that encouragement and having that support and the advice when you really, really need it, when you need it the most, when you are struggling, when you feel like you just can't do it anymore or something isn't working. It's about having that support and that encouragement to lift you up and get you back on track. So if you feel like that's you, make sure you hop on, join us, head to the website, lornamariefitness.co.uk, and it's /get-started. Pop in your details there and it sends it to Laura, and Laura will get in touch. And all she does is she just has a conversation about where you are right now and to see if we really are the best people to help you on your journey. Or of course you can message me, or just message me and we can have a little chat over there. And if you're a squaddy, we've got a squaddy version as well. So if you feel like you've gone off a little bit off track and you just want that more kind of intimate support, you get the one-on-one on the 6-week course. Not that wouldn't help you anyway, normally, but it's a little bit more intimate on the 6-week course, then you're more than welcome to join us on the squaddy version as well. Just let me know. Okay, how are we all? Are we in? Are we there? Let's get started with the questions. I've got some really good questions and some things that I want to dive into a little bit deeper, actually. So I've got a piece of paper and a pen here so I can draw a little diagram. And the question that I'm going to start on today is... questions over here. And by the way, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to put them in the comments, and if I can answer them, I absolutely will. And if I need to go out and research them or refer you to a specialist, then I will also do that. So the question I wanted to start on today is, this could be a stupid question, but I'm wondering, to be in a calorie deficit, can you eat more if you exercise more? Or is the calorie deficit calculated without accounting for exercise? Now, it's not a stupid question at all. No question is ever a stupid question. But I wanted to start on this one because it's all about, I kind of feel like I need to unpack it. It's all about a bit of a reframing as well. So to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And all a calorie is a unit of measurement. Kind of like a centimetre or a mile or a yard. It's just a unit of measurement. It's a unit of energy. And the way they do it is they burn foods in this like vacuum and they calculate how much energy comes off the food. And that's called a calorie. So a calorie is a unit of measurement. If we want to lose weight, we must be in a calorie deficit. So calories out are greater than calories in. And to stick at it in the long run, we want to be in a moderate calorie deficit. We don't want to be absolutely slashing our calories, because you find that by day 3, 4, 5, you're just burnt out. You've got no energy. You can't think straight. You've got brain fog, and you just can't stick at it in the long term. So it's about being in a moderate calorie deficit. Now, of course, to be in a calorie deficit, you either exercise a little bit more and eat less, or ideally like a combination of both of them. But the issue with trying to eat your calories back from exercise is, number one, it's not a great way to think about food and exercise. So we don't want to be thinking about, okay, I've done this workout, so I deserve X, Y, Z. Because quite often when we do a workout and then we think, oh, I've worked out, so yeah, let's go for the takeout, we end up overcompensating for what we've done, and then obviously then we're not going to be in a calorie deficit anymore. We quite often over-egg the amount that we burn as well, burn during exercise. And it isn't something we should be doing. We should not be exercising to burn calories. I just want to emphasize this. We should be exercising to improve our muscular tone, to feel stronger, to improve our mobility, to improve our heart health, lung health, and basically live a better and longer life, a higher quality life, so that you can run up the stairs without having to think about it. So you can bend down and pick something off the floor without having to think about it. So you can go and do all the things that you want on your holidays, on your trips. You can run around with the kids, the grandkids, without having to think about it. This is why we exercise, for good quality life, not to burn calories. But a lot of people do look at the watch as, the watch says I burnt 400 calories, so that means that I can have this, whatever it might be, bag of Maltesers, half a pizza, because that's 400 calories. And in actual fact, these calorie counters are not accurate. They're not accurate in the slightest. They can't tell you anything about your genetics. They can't tell you anything about your muscle to fat ratio in your body. They can't tell you about your stress levels. They're rubbish. Do not rely on anything that tells you how many calories that you've burned. It's not accurate. On those two stances, I wouldn't think about the calories that you're burning from your exercise. And I just want to draw a little diagram here. Now, I'm not one to advocate, Trish, totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. They're just, the technology is just not there. Now, I'm not one to advocate counting calories, not for the long term anyway. For some people, it might be useful in the short term, just to kind of get an idea of like portion sizes and what is in what kinds of food. But hey, before calorie counters came along, and before even anyone started calorie counting or having apps, people managed to lose weight. Okay, they're not essential. We don't need them. And in the long term, I think it can become quite restrictive, and it can also encourage a poor relationship with food. And we forget about the fact that food is nourishing and it is also sociable. And we start to just think about numbers in different types of food. And that is a reason why I don't advocate it for the long run anyway. And for some people, so for some people who say have a past with disordered eating, or just don't really feel comfortable with food and with the way that they feel about themselves, it's not something that I would encourage at all. And there's other ways to do it. Oh, sorry, Trish, you meant about the approach to eating and everything else you're saying. Oh, okay. I'm glad you agree. I mean, it's just my opinion. Not everyone will have the same opinion, but this is where I'm coming from. And I'm also coming from a place where I have helped hundreds of women, and a lot of women really, really struggle and get hung up on calorie counting when actually it's not accurate either. I know I'm going off on a slight tangent here, but I hope it's useful. Like, calories are legally allowed to be 20% out. So when you go to a shop and you look on the back of a packet, or when you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu, they're legally allowed to be 20% out. So even if you are counting to the absolute single calorie, it's just not an accurate science. So that might be enough to throw you off your calorie deficit so you're not losing weight. And this is why I think a consistency approach is much better. But anyway, this is a diagram that I'm going to show you. So your total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, i.e. how much energy are you burning in a day? The majority of it is made up by your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. I'll show you my diagram in a sec. About 60 to 75%. And this is the amount of energy that you burn to keep yourself alive, for your body to actually function, for you to breathe. That is your BMR. Then you've got the thermic effect of food. So it actually takes energy to burn food. And this is kind of like, that accounts for that basically. You will heat up. Your core temperature will heat up ever so slightly while your body is burning food. It is the amount of energy that is produced from breaking down your food in your digestive system. Then you have your NEAT. This is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this is anything that you're doing like non-intentionally. So it's not planned. It's your pottering around, it's your fidgeting, it's your anything, or it's your putting the washing away, it's doing the dishwasher, it's anything that is movement that isn't necessarily planned into your day as formal exercise. That accounts for about 15%. I didn't tell you what the TEF accounts for, thermic effect of food, that's about 10%. And then you've got your exercise on top of that. Okay, I've not really done this very accurately. And it depends on how active you are, but it's only like a small portion. Okay, I'm going to redo that because it's really, really bad. I didn't take art. Let me just quickly draw that. Okay, NEAT actually is probably quite a lot bigger. Anyway, this is roughly what we're talking about here. This is your NEAT, and this is your thermic effect of your food. Okay, can you see that? Okay, you're getting a lovely view of my forehead there. So your BMR is basically the energy you burn to keep yourself alive. This is the thermic effect of food. This is your NEAT, and that's the amount of exercise. Now, what a lot of people do is they think, okay, if I do more exercise, that means that I'm going to be in a calorie deficit, and it means that I'm going to be burning so much more energy, and they end up being a bit of a hamster on a wheel and just completely and utterly burning out and overestimating the amount of calories that exercise burns. So that might just go from there to there, like as in not much. So it's really important that we don't exercise to lose weight. And going back to more specifically the question, can you eat more if you exercise more? Well, yeah, you want to think about nourishing your body 100%. Think about giving your body the good stuff. But I would be more tempted, if you're going to put yourself in a calorie deficit, to keep it pretty consistent over the week. And then if you absolutely, you've got a massive day where you're doing loads of exercise, then think about what your body actually needs and nourishing your body. But I wouldn't be saying, okay, so today I did 3 workouts, so that means that I can eat this. And then today I only did 2 workouts, so that means I can have that. And that day I didn't do anything, so that means that I need to eat less. I wouldn't be doing it like that. I'd work out your calorie deficit, including the fact that you are an active person, and take it from there. So I'd be hitting the same amount like each day and getting consistency out of it. So just think about being consistent, but I wouldn't start to adjust so meticulously like that. Does that make sense? Let me know if it doesn't make sense. And I realize that I've really gone quite deep into that, but I hope that has kind of changed the mindset around it. But I really, really think it's just about giving your body what it needs, that nourishment. And if you're putting yourself in a calorie deficit, not necessarily changing it so much each day, just account for, when you're working out your calorie deficit, the fact that you are an active person. And then if your watch says you burn X, Y, Z, just ignore that. Just keep doing what you're doing. Because one of the things that I really don't agree with is, say, some apps like MyFitnessPal. If you link them up to your watch, it basically pushes the calories that you burn into the app and says, okay, because you burn an extra 300, 400 calories, whatever it says on your watch, it adds it on to your day. Now we know that that's not accurate. So if it's telling you that you can have an extra 400 calories a day because you've done that exercise and you eat that extra 400, that might mean that you're not in a deficit anymore. So I would just account for the fact that you're an active person and then just keep it even. I mean, it's all an experiment at the end of the day. Just kind of really remove yourself from it and use it as like data. If you hear a weird noise, Harvey, my dog, is absolutely destroying his toy at my feet. He is going for it. Harvey, that's a brand new toy. It's devastating. You're here to pets at home. And I am such a mug. I don't know about anyone else. I'm such a mug. I will just go in every time and I have to buy him a new toy because that 2 minutes of enjoyment where I give him his toy and he's so happy just makes me so happy. And then he destroys it. And I'm like, wow, I've just wasted £4.50 just like that. Anyway, well, it's not wasted, is it? Anyway, question number 2. Hi Lorna, I'm interested on your thoughts of the pros and cons of doing cardio workouts in trainers versus barefoot, please. Oh, it really depends. It depends on you. It depends on your biomechanics. It depends on your foot. The pros and cons are if you're wearing trainers, they can be good for that cushioning, and particularly if you're doing it on a hard floor, the shock absorption. And if you need that support, like arch support, it can be really good for that too. So more for comfort, shock absorption, and supporting your foot. But on the flip side, if you work out barefoot, it can help you to basically improve the strength in your feet and your toes, improve your balance and that proprioception as well, because you're fully grounded to the floor and you're feeling the floor. So over time, that might actually help support your foot better because you're basically improving the strength in your foot and in your ankle. One thing though, if you need that support, obviously it doesn't provide that support or that shock absorption necessarily. So you need to find what works for you. I find I really like working in barefoot when I'm at home, but I do have a really spongy floor. It's like that jigsaw floor that you put together. It's quite thick, so it's quite good for shock absorption. But I've found that, touch wood, anyway, wherever there's any wood, it's actually really helped improve the strength in my feet. So I used to get pain in the top of my foot. I've got basically like a spur. Has anyone else got a spur? I've got a spur on top of my foot that used to get a little bit painful with wearing trainers and working out on hard floors. And now I've got a spongier floor. I've improved the strength in my feet and I actually really enjoy that. But if I ever feel like I need to switch, then I will, of course. But that's kind of the pros and cons, really. To just see how you get on with that. I don't think there's really anything to add to that. It just depends on you and your natural gait as to whether that's effective or not. Next question. As a minimum, I try and do 1 cardio, 1 strength and 1 holistic a week. And then I often do a second cardio and maybe another strength or holistic. But wondering if I need to try and do 2 of each a week to see a difference. So it depends what you mean by see a difference here. Are you referring to seeing a difference in your cardio fitness, in your mobility or flexibility, or are you referring to seeing a difference in your muscular tone? Because I feel like I've probably already answered the question for you there. I wouldn't go from 1 of each to 2 of each straight away. I think it's all about that progression, or maybe even just adding on a bolt on. Say you do a half-hour strength and then adding on a bolt on 15 minutes of cardio or something. If you really want to see the difference in your muscular tone, the strength classes are the ones that you want to be focusing on. And to complement that, maybe, if you're someone who's just doing a lot of strength and a lot of cardio, the holistic side can really, really help to release your muscles and improve core strength and help with your mobility. So it depends on what your goals are at the moment as to what you want to focus on more. But if it is seeing the muscular tone and the muscular shape, I would start by upping it to a couple of strengths and go from there. And it is a case of monitoring. And it's also a case of how much time have you got? Like if you have more time, then go for it. A couple of each isn't going to do any harm. Think about the recommended exercise hours as well. So the NHS, they recommend either 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, So that might be things like combat, aerobics, stronger, hit with weights, all of those types of workouts, or 150 minutes of moderate exercise. That might be like a power walking, a Pilates, a light Zumba. It might be some cleaning or gardening or something like that, or a walk. So that's your 150 minutes. Or you go somewhere in the middle. So think about, okay, based on that and what I'm doing right now, what could I add in that would be beneficial? Because at the flip side, we don't want to go too far with it and then be overtraining and not see the results. So it's about monitoring what is right for you. But just maybe start off by adding one more of those in if you've got the time, and see how you get on from there. Okay, next question. My left knee will not bend very far before some slight discomfort kicks in. I noticed it felt like I lost its springiness, which is now improving, but I struggle with any squat because of the lack of ability to bend it. Are there any exercise I can do to improve it, and what should I avoid? Now, this question is definitely for a physio, medical professional. So I can't really advise. One, I don't particularly know what that looks like, and two, I'm not qualified to answer a question on that. But one thing that I would be thinking of if it were me, and this is not advice, disclaimer, is I would be thinking about, okay, why might my knee be hurting and feeling really uncomfortable? Is it because my muscles that support my knee around it are really tight? As in, are my quads really tight? Are my hamstrings really tight? And if they are, what can I do to release them? Am I doing much mobility? Am I doing any yoga escape right now? Am I doing any yoga? What am I doing to try and release the tightness around the knee joint? Or is it a case of I've been overdoing it? Does my knee actually just need a bit of a rest and I need to switch things up a little bit? Is it just a bit of an overtraining on the knee? Just thinking about what you really need. And is it maybe a weakness or an imbalance? So what can I do to be improving the strength of the muscles around the knee joint? Can I be doing stronger? Can I be doing the booty band? Can I be doing Pilates to help strengthen the muscles that support the knee joint? So that's kind of where I would be coming from, really. But if it is something that is really affecting you and affecting your movement, then I would definitely go and see a physio. And I've got a couple that I can recommend as well. Just message me. So just, let me know on that one if you want a recommendation. But I hope that was useful anyway. Okay, I've got a question. One more question on here, and then I had two in my DMs as well, so I'm going to go to those. So this is just a quick one. Slowly getting to grips with the classes, but I've got a few questions. Can you explain all the classes? What is a release? What does Blatt Tabata mean? And what is Sculpt, and how does it differ from Yogascape? Okay, so for all the classes, you can find the class descriptions. If you go onto our website, so lawnmaryfitness.co.uk, click online. I think it's, a button for online, and then timetable. Harvey, honestly, this toy's getting absolutely killed down here. Click timetable, and underneath there's a button for class descriptions. And if you also go onto the members area, the live classes, there's a button for class descriptions there. So you can get all of those there, like Blatt, Tabata. But Blatt is butt, legs, arms, and tums. Tabata is a style of interval training where you do 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off, and you've got 8 rounds of it. For a release, so some of our classes are pre-choreographed. So I'll go away, I listen to music for ages, I think of the choreography, I learn it off by heart, I do the choreography, I record it, and then that is a release. And we go back to past releases. So we'll do a release, say in Yogascape, for 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks. So you can feel and see your progression. You can kind of get to learn it. And that's, I think, one of the most rewarding things, when you can actually see and feel your progression. And then we'll move on to a different release, or we'll mix it up. We'll go back to a past one. So that's what a release is. Okay, to the DMs. Now, this one, it wasn't like a question specifically, but it was about portion sizes. Now, portion sizes are really important because if you are somebody who is trying to say either you're struggling to maintain your weight or you're struggling to lose weight, portion sizes are going to come into this. A lot of people they'll go out and eat, I don't know, let's say, for an example, an avocado salad or fish and chips, or give me a few more meal ideas, cottage pie, whatever. They'll have the whole thing and not really think anything of it and think, well, I only ate an avocado salad for dinner, or that's what they normally eat, or whatever. Anyway, basically, portion sizing is really important because you could think that you're having something really healthy or just a normal portion and then go way over your calorie allowance without realizing. So in the example of salads, say for an avocado is really, really healthy. It's really healthy, full of super healthy fats. But if you're having a full avocado with some seeds and some nuts, and then maybe there's some chicken in there. Chicken's not high calorie, but I'm just trying to think of what else would be in the salad. And then there's a full fat dressing on there. You could be racking up, say, I've seen some salads that are like almost your calorie allowance in a salad, thinking that you're doing really good because you're having a salad, but actually that portion size plus what's in it is just way out. So it is difficult. And it's difficult to know what is right for you and your body. I get that. At the start, I would be saying consistency is key. I would be, the first couple of times I have something, I might weigh it out so I know what the portion looks like and I've got a bit of an idea. And then I would, if I'm really not sure, just keep kind of weighing it out. So say with pasta, that's a classic example, or spaghetti, classic example. A portion size doesn't actually look like that much. Or cereal or granola. Granola is a great example. You fill your plate with a bowl of granola and actually the portion size is like a fifth of what you think. It's ridiculous. But we need to be mindful of it. So maybe the first few times you just weigh it out so you've got an idea. So you know what is right for you. And then you can stay consistent with that. And then you know how to alter your portion sizes. Without any consistency, we don't actually know what portion sizes are right for us. So my best advice would be to be consistent with your diet, have basically the same breakfast, same lunch and dinner, maybe swapping out the protein source and having a couple of snacks in there that might be fruit or whatever, or whatever is right for you, but keep consistent with it. So you know that if after 3-4 weeks it's not working and you've kept your portion sizes the same, you can reduce them by 20%. Or equally, if you find that you're losing weight and you want to maintain, or you're losing weight and it's at a too quick rate and you just feel fatigued and your mood is really bad and you feel like you can't keep up with it, then you know how to adjust your portion sizes. You can increase them slightly too. We have a portion size guide. If you go on to the 6-week area and you click on portion size guide, there's a hand a hand guide. You can. And it's good rule of thumb, to be fair. Speaking of thumbs, so thumb would be like your fat portion, your fat size. The fist would be the portion size for your carbohydrate, and the palm of the hand would be for your protein. So have a little look at that, and that can give you a bit of a rough guide as well. Final question. I hope this is useful. Let me know. Are you enjoying it? I really like doing these. I've noticed my legs and hips have started clicking when I'm on my back doing leg work in Pilates. Is this normal? It's just started happening. Yeah, it is quite common. It really is quite common. And if it's not causing you any pain, it's not really a cause for concern, to be honest. It could be snapping hip syndrome, where you've got a tendon that's basically going over a bony structure, which is making that little either snapping or clonking or clicking noise. It can be in people who have real hypermobility in their joints as well. And that might be an indication that there's some instability around the joint. So you might want to look at strengthening. So maybe strengthening the muscles that are going to be supporting your hips, strengthening your hip flexors, your glutes, your quads, all that area. So your Strongers, your Pilates, your booty band again. And if it is hurting or you feel any sharp movement, if you feel sharp movement, stop. Don't do it. And if it is hurting, I would go and see somebody about it, go and see a physio about it. But generally speaking, if it doesn't cause you any pain or any discomfort, it's not really a problem. It's not seen to be a problem. And that concludes the Q&A for today. I hope that was really useful, everyone. Do let me know if it was useful, and do let me know if you want to join the 6-week reset as well. We start a week today. So if you feel like you just want to get fitter, feel healthier, and you want to go into summer actually in a different place in both body and mind, you basically want to hit the reset button, then come and join us. Message me or head to the website and pop in your details there. You can have a little chat with Laura, ask her any questions. She's great to speak to because she's actually been through it all herself, and she started with us at the squad. So she knows it all, and she has been and still is a squaddie and takes part in everything. So she's a really, really good person to chat to. But of course you can talk to me as well. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your night. And before I forget, we've got the Slim Down Shape Up workshop tomorrow night, 5 till 5:30. So come along. I'm going to be talking all about, we're just giving you little tips and tricks and advice for slimming down and shaping up for summer. And it's also a great opportunity to ask questions about the 6-week reset if you are thinking about doing this and you're thinking about going for it. And by the way, if you are thinking, but you just feel like now's not the right time, I just want to say there never will be a right time. There'll never be a right time. Just do it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. Happy Monday, and let me know how you found the Q&A. I would love to know. I will see you soon. Squaddies, see you bright and early. Bye.